Your Holiness, thank you for your wonderful words of wisdom on this August occasion as we inaugurate the 33rd World Congress of the International Association for Religious Freedom. We're deeply honored to be in your presence, and many of us have traveled far and wide to be here, specifically to be here in your presence, and we feel deeply grateful and honored that you would make the time to join us on this very auspicious occasion.
Amazing to see so many good people here.
It's a big conference, no? It's an international conference. It's a golden opportunity for us to mingle here.
Peaceful dialogue, that's what's happening inside basically.
It is the most amazing group of global, committed social activists of every gender and every race and every culture.
From all over the world, about 20 to 40 countries people are here. That's why we can share with them, we can interact with them, we can know about each other, about their religion, about their belief.
We can start dialogue, we can speak to our co-brothers and sisters.
All of these cultures and religions and nations are equally respected.
It's a good chance to meet other people and the issues of religious freedom and the support for human rights are major global issues, of course.
So we come together as members of different faiths, which already lowers the tension. It encourages people to speak from a much deeper place in themselves. I mean, you can hear lectures about the importance of the other or even the humanity of the other for many years. But once you met someone from the other community, then you are changed.
Before I didn't know, I was like, I'm a Muslim, I can't go out with a Christian, I can't talk to a Buddhist, I can't talk to whom. I only talk to my fellow friends, my fellow Tanzanians and my Muslim members. I don't talk to other people. But for now, I just talk to anyone, I feel free to talk to anybody.
When we don't know one another, we tend to be afraid. So what needs to happen 1,000,000 times, 100 million times, is for people to learn to be together in an environment where they can interact, learn from one another, learn to appreciate one another, realize that that person from another faith is not a demon, it's another human being.
There is some conflict between different religions, and for that situation, if we talk, if we come together, if we sit together and talk, then it will be easy for us to share idea, and everybody will think that every religions are same, and there shouldn't be any discrimination between any religion.
At the moment, the biggest challenge is religious dogmatism. You know the story of 11 September, New York disaster. You know the whole story. Then its repercussion, America bombing Iraq and Afghanistan. Then you have known the whole genocide in Philippines, in Bosnia, in Herzegovina. Thousands have killed thousands.
I think that religions for the last 2,000 years have caused a lot of trouble.
Religion has been part of creating hatred and violence. Often, even if religious leaders aren't leading it, they're tolerating it or they're silent about it. And that's very disappointing.
What is critically needed is reconciliation among religions, among cultures, among ethnicities, among nations. But unfortunately, we don't seem to have a process, let alone sometimes the motivation to look for solutions outside of violent means, which in many ways, as His Holiness described yesterday, it seems to have been the hallmark of the latter part of the 20th century. And as he exhorted the audience yesterday, that our hope is that this century would instead be one of dialogue, because the only way for reconciliation is through dialogue, which leads to forgiveness.
Interfaith dialogue is the only way forward. The Baha'i Faith speaks of the essential oneness of religions, and the challenge before religious leaders is to recognize this.
We need to, as religious leaders, and I'm one, hold ourselves to a very high standard of saying it's not all right to discriminate against anyone on religious grounds or any other for that matter.
maybe it's time that we can actually contribute to mankind learning how best to collaborate together and address some of these crises that humanity is facing together instead of separately.
I don't have to look really far away to see, conflict, beyond conflict. I mean, we are right in the middle of it everywhere. So the road is far, but as a youngster, I wouldn't say it's difficult to, cross the road or, reach the tunnel at the end. I would definitely hope, at least by the end of my life, I would like to see some things change for the better. I like to be a part of it, do something towards it in my area, in my own place. That's all I can hope for, not think big and write theories. Today, mostly you see men, probably deciding most of the stuff. But initially it was not like that. If we retrace history, so when someone has a good understanding about the past, they would definitely say that, women were an integral part of almost all parts of community life, religion, politics, anything. The participation was higher. But now we see they are mostly homemakers, or they are not allowed to, develop. Mostly in India, the case is very worse. So what he said is probably very relevant, and it is necessary that women also are part of the decision-making body, and they should participate in any form of the community, be it religion also, because you cannot just keep them away and talk about freedom, and it doesn't make sense.
Most of the Muslim girls, we don't have that opportunity to express ourselves. Few girls get this opportunity to come outside your home or outside your family to come and study here. So I think it's good, and it helped me a lot, because now I feel that I know who I am. I know what am I right, I know what am I supposed to do.
The role of women is the single best predictor of overall freedom and progress in a society. The real threat to tyrants is to send their women to college.
There are cliches around. Women are supposedly more compassionate and more nurturing and all that. But I think that there is some truth to the view that women are what's now being called lateral thinkers, that women can do more than one thing at once. And that's what we need more of on the planet. We need less focus and we need more broad-based big picture and little picture activity. And I think women are natural at that.
The analogy given in the Baha'i writings is that man and women are like the two wings of a bird. And no matter how strong one wing is, if the other wing is weak, then the bird cannot reach the heights for which it was destined. So the understanding of this basic unity between the roles of men and women in society today is essential.
Obviously, religion is a very liberating and empowering force, and we all must try to make use of that force at every level, individual level, community level, regional level, national level, and even international level.
The most important thing that religion can do and needs to do, I think, is to bring into mass consciousness spiritual reality. In other words, the fact that there is a spirit world, the fact that there is more going on here than just this physical dimension.
These spiritual concepts, they go beyond mere material requirements of life. And so it is the Baha'i view that religion has to join hands with statespersons to ensure that the ideals that have been enshrined in the Declaration of Human Rights actually begin to see reality, and not just in one corner of the world, but all over the globe.
I think the situation facing the planet right now is dire on many fronts. Poverty and hunger and inequity and climate change, not to mention war, are out of control. And we don't have a lot of time to address these matters. And who is better prepared to making a contribution to these than people in the organized religions and people who are better educated and committed and engaged.
Each of our great religions has a priceless offering to make towards the future prosperity of humankind. And the process has to begin now with us.
Your Holiness, you reminded us of a few things, some of which we already know, but sometimes we forget. You reminded us about the value of compassion, about the value of forgiveness, and above all, the importance of love. We take that to heart. You also reminded us that even though there may be so many differences among religions, even within religions, that diversity need not be a source of division. That diversity actually can be a pathway to deeper understanding. We take that to heart.